Okay, right. I thought what I would do is just a video here just on the controls of the Zetor, which might be useful for anyone who's just got one or thinking of buying one, and obviously you know what the controls are. At least then you know what you're looking for when you go and try it then. This is a 1986 Zetor 7245. But the control layouts are pretty much the same for all of the, I think it's called a UR1 range of Zetors, which runs roughly from beginning of the 70s up until about the end of the 90s. Basically, yeah, it's the 4-cylinder Zetors, which, whether that's just coincidental, but they tend to have a 4-digit model number. So the little one over there is a 5711. This is a 7245. The controls will be different for the bigger UR2s and like your big crystals and all that sort of thing, your big 6-cylinder Zetors. They will be very different controls to this. But yeah, if it's a UR1 range, then it's pretty much going to be the same controls. Might just be in very, very slightly different positions, but you know, very much the same. So start up on the top, quite simple. In this you got fan blowers. Never worked out what that one is. If anyone knows what that is for, I'll be very happy, you know, very appreciated. Rear windscreen wiper, flashing light, which I've added so that wouldn't be a standard position. Front windscreen wiper and the wash wipe, and then you've got your heater control up here. Obviously, you know, that. Yep, they're quite loud. So when you come down on the instrument binnacle, temperature gauge, fuel gauge, obviously engine speed, you know, tachometer. Then you've got your warning light cluster. So what have we got here? I can't see. It's a bit dusty, isn't it? So yeah, you got your battery, warning light, handbrake warning light, oil pressure gauge, low fuel, headlight full beam, rear work light. Then you've got your air pressure gauge. To be honest, you don't normally ever have the compressor running. Well, I never do. That would only really apply as if you was pulling a trailer that, you know, it obviously got air brakes, and you'd use it then for powering them. 3 indicator lights. How it works. I haven't got the ignition on, I don't know where I put the key. Yeah. If you indicate and you're just on your own, 1 indicator flashes. If you notice when I first do it, 2 do. If you've got a trailer hooked up, both top 2 flash. If you've got a second trailer hooked up, all 3 would flash. And then over on this side then you've got 2 warning lights. That one, just pull this on, I'll show you what that is in a few minutes. That's for the hand clutch, and that's a warning to say you've got the hand clutch in, which only should be on from engaged for a maximum of 5 minutes. That's what this little sticker is here for. This one is a low air pressure warning light. It was damaged when I got it, and I've never got around to getting a new one of these little covers, but one day I might. Then got your light switches. This will just alter between the normal headlights and the work lights up on the top. This, I think, is an addition. It doesn't seem to be connected anymore. It's got a picture of a fan, but I don't, you know, think it actually does anything anymore. Hazard lights, work light, emergency engine stop. You don't really ever want to be pulling that unless it is a serious emergency. Apparently it will stop the engine dead, and if you do pull it, chances are you're going to have to get someone out to, you know, sort of repair the bits that sort of break as it does it. So yeah, normally you stop the engine by using the hand throttle, which we'll come to. Obviously indicator stalk, completely normal. This lever here, get into position, hand throttle. It's also the engine stop. So starting, you go right up to there. If you notice, there is actually, I'll just pull it back slowly, you'll hear it, a click point. That's normally roughly where your sort of tick over is, and then sort of right back to shut down then. Under here is your starter. So all these people who, you know, my car's got a push button start. Yes, so's my tractor. Ooh. The ignition key, a little bit different on a tractor. If you push it in, that's ignition on. If you turn it round, put your side lights on, turn it a little bit more, that puts your headlights on. So you don't have to, well, you don't, if you're just running in normal daylight, you just push the key in. So that's that. I'll see it come down the side. Accelerator as normal. Got your brakes, which, as nearly all tractors, you can unlatch them and brake one wheel independently of the other. So if you was ploughing on the headland turn, you can unlatch as you lift the plough up. Obviously it lightens the front end, you can then brake and it will turn you around quicker. Clutch, pretty standard. On a Zetor, it's a one-stage clutch, so you push it down, it just disengages. Where it does get a little bit different, you often hear probably of tractors being referred to as live drive, where they have a two-stage clutch. If you've got the compressor running and you're up to pressure, then this does become a two-stage clutch. It becomes a lot much lighter. The first stage just engages the gearbox, if you like, and the second stage then is a slight notch when you've got air pressure there, and that will then disengage the clutch for the hydraulics. Normally the hand clutch down here, this is for engaging your hydraulic controls, and that. Handbrake is normal. Down here, this one is your hydraulic and your PTO control lever. If it's right down, that's hydraulics on but PTO off. The first stage up then is hydraulics and PTO on. The next stage up is neutral. If you go right back up into the top position, that's ground speed then, and it matches the PTO shaft speed to whatever gear you're in on the main transfer box and main gearbox. Then I've never used ground speed. This lever then is your high and low ratio for your forward speeds, or your speeds basically. So if it's right up, it's high range, which obviously road, and to be honest, most of the time if you're grass cutting, that sort of stuff, you'll be in high range. Next one down is neutral, right down is low range. Don't know exact what the ratios are, but I think if you're in low fifth, it's just a little bit quicker than high first. It's quite handy. I'll often use low range if I'm sort of using the top of the hedge cutter. Saves me having to slip the clutch then, just give me a bit more control. This one, standard, gearbox, 5-speed with reverse, but it's actually got a dogleg first, sorry. So again, these people say, oh, my car's got a dogleg first. Yep, so's my tractor. So basically your first and your reverse, line up quite, are in a straight line, and then it's up 2, 3, 4, 5. No synchro meshes on them, other than 4th to 5th, so the rest of the time you have to double clutch it. What have we got? This one here is for the Pto Output Speed. Never ever moved it. Normally always running in 540 RPM. If you flick across the other way, that puts it into 1000 RPM, but you'd never ever use it. Well, I wouldn't. This is your four-wheel drive engagement on this one, and it's basically twist it and push it down, and then to disengage it you pull it up and push it down. A bit like trying to engage a four-wheel drive on an old Land Rover. Doesn't always line up. Sometimes you have to wiggle the steering wheel, sometimes you have to sort of pull forward a little bit, and sometimes if you've been in four-wheel drive you sometimes have to back up a little bit to unwind the transmission. That lever down there by my heel is for the rear diff lock. So again, if you're ploughing, you'd have that locked. I've only ever used it on very occasionally if I am, I wouldn't say stuck, but in very soft ground. I don't know, seem to think that if you push it down and then keep the power on, it will actually stay down until you come off the power, then it will disengage. But I don't think you have to drive along with your foot on it all the time. Right, this little control here controls the speed of the hydraulics. It is actually, the little levers broke off. It's in the highest speed, and that's where it needs, for me, needs it to be. You've got your two hydraulic levers. This one, the big one, the easy one to get hold of, if you like, it's what's called the inner circuit, inner circuit hydraulics, which basically adjusts or controls the height of the 3-point linkage. This one is for your outer circuit. So on the back here, on this, you've got 3 hydraulic connections. One of them is just a return. So if you was running something such as the, well, if it was zoom in the, God, brain's gone, the hedge cutter or the Wattveer, where you've got a supply and return. What you do then is you hook it up to the return, corresponding on the back of the tractor. Just covering the microphone. And then you push it back to here and lock it in, and that supplies to it all the time. If you was running something with a double acting ram on it, like say if you had a hydraulic top link, or like what I'm planning to do on the grader, and put like a hydraulic ram on the grader so I can adjust the slewing on it, then you would plug the hoses in correspondingly on the back, and then pushing it one way will put power to one service, and then that way to the other, and obviously neutral in the middle then. Right at the back here, another little lever. This is for the pickup hitch. So that's for hitching up trailers. So what you have to do, you lift the hydraulic levers, the outer inner circuit, all the way up, and takes the weight of this. You pull that then, and then as you lower it down, it disengages the pickup hitch. And as you lift it back up, then once you've hooked up your trailer, it will automatically lock back in. This, right buried under here, there's another little lever, which is your draft control. You've got 3 positions. You've got position, mixed, and full draft. To be honest, I normally have it mixed. I didn't actually alter it this time. I wondered why that was being a bit odd. Position I normally use if I've got the hedge cutter or the forklift on, because you don't want it moving. As the weight comes on and off, you don't want it suddenly sort of trying to adjust itself. Normally if I'm grass cutting, I put it into mixed, and then that will sort of level and sort of float almost. Draft is more for ploughing. I've never really had it in draft, and I honestly wouldn't know how you set it up in draft. But to move this lever, you couldn't, that pretty stiff, you can't move it now. Has to be done with the engine running, and you basically lift the inner circuit up and down, and as you sort of get to a certain point, you'll feel it will just move then. You can just flick it into whatever one you want. Final lever, I think, is this one, which little handle, and that just controls one of the link arms just for leveling the deck, or whatever implement you've on the back side. But yeah, that actually turned out a lot longer than I thought it was going to be. I didn't think there was that many controls, so I hope you didn't get too bored. But yeah, thank you for watching, and I'll speak to you all soon.